Hello there.
Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you, Shalaka Gundi.
Likewise, likewise. It's a pleasure.
Wonderful. Okay, let's quickly establish protocols. I want to be sure you can hear me clearly.
I am.
Okay, I can equally hear you clearly enough, and I think that is not a problem, so we can make progress from here. How are you doing, Shalaka? It's so good to see you.
Likewise, I think we have, we intended to connect
Yes.
earlier many times, but somehow, it did not happen.
Okay.
But I'm so happy that, you invited me and, it gives us an opportunity to connect as well. I'm sorry to miss
Absolutely.
you when I visited Berlin. I really wished I could have met you then.
Exactly. Exactly. I tried the best that I could to be at the conference in Berlin. Unfortunately, I could not. That would have been my most precious, awesome opportunity to network with friends at the IAF conference, but it just did not happen. I felt a little bit uncomfortable, but I just encouraged myself that there would be definitely more opportunities in the future, even in the nearest future, to connect with friends at IAF.
Absolutely. So one immediate opportunity that I can think of is the global summit that we are
Okay,
organizing this year,
okay,
uh, and it's virtual, so you don't have to worry about traveling anywhere.
okay.
You can attend it from the safety and comfort of your home.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
I'll keep you posted.
Thank you so much, Shalaka. It's good to have you. One of the things that I love so much about the work that you do is the ability to bring people together, to connect people towards development, towards growth, and towards organizational improvement. I love your work, and that's part of the reason why I wanted you to be on my program this year. And thank you so much for creating the time. I understand your schedule from where I am. I do understand your schedule. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
finding the time to attend the Force of Leadership Thought 2024. Shalaka Gundi, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and the work that you do
Mhm.
at Peoplescape Consultancy. Just a little bit.
All right, sure. So, Peoplescape is a new venture. So, we are looking at creating an organization, five of us, to really help entrepreneurs and
Mhm.
maybe second generation leaders
Okay.
to bring about a positive growth and change in their organizations,
Okay.
to help them with the challenges that typical family owned businesses face,
Mm-hmm.
to make them more strategic, to make them more professional, to
Mm-hmm.
make them more participatory, and to make them more people centered. So that is our path that we have chosen to follow. So it's a new venture, so we are still kind of looking ahead to building that path.
Okay.
But I have been doing similar work, as an HR professional, as an organization development professional, as a consultant with other organizations, and while I have had a corporate career
Mm-hmm.
for the past almost, I would say, 12 and a half years
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with organizations to help them bring about positive change, and I use so many different approaches. I use consulting as an approach. Sometimes I wear the hat of a coach, a mentor, a trainer, a
Mm-hmm.
facilitator. So I do wear different hats depending on what the organization requires.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pleasure to help with organizations to make a difference,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they don't have systems in place, when they don't have policies and processes in place, to be their partner, to be their guide on the side,
Okay.
to help them uh, come up with something that works in their own context.
Okay. Wow, this is powerful. I must confess to you that one of the things that drew me close to the work that you do is your ability to move between different areas of specialization. Like you said, you wear different caps. I wish I could have one of those caps. You need to tell me how to have one of them, but it's okay. Thank you for coming to join me in this program. I also know that you do great works in the area of facilitation. You are a member of the International Association of Facilitators. Is there something that you would like to tell us briefly about what you do at IAF, or what is it exactly that drew you close to this area of competence in the area of organizational development?
Right, and I think that's such a powerful question, and it's difficult for me where to start.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, I think facilitation and IAF came into my life about 8 years ago,
Okay.
and I think with that, I think I found my calling and my home, because I think I am a facilitator at heart. I do appreciate the opportunity to serve groups,
Mm-hmm.
to be a catalyst, to really not be the center stage, to really not be the kind of in the limelight,
Mm-hmm.
but subtly through enabling processes, help groups move forward in a positive direction.
Mm-hmm.
And group facilitation gave me that opportunity. And I must say, I started off as a regular member,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got an opportunity to lead in a small way in the city that I'm currently staying, which is Pune in India, near Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
So through being a hub lead, I also got the opportunity to organize a conference at the chapter level, which was my journey to both learning and leading in IAF.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way IAF works, the values, the ethos, etc., it's really about being inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being transparent. It's about nobody. There is no hierarchy. There is no. There are no authority lines out here. So, working in that environment, working with people, um, making things happen without really having the, so-called authority to do it, I
Mm-hmm.
think that was a huge learning for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that learning continued over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from being the conference co-chair 1 year to being a chair of another conference, which then allowed me to maybe take some steps, bold steps, I would say, in terms of improving the transparency and the inclusivity of the process of the
Mm-hmm.
conference process.
Mm-hmm.
I also helped to take it a little bit beyond India by inviting evaluators from different parts of the world
Mm-hmm.
to evaluate the conference proposals.
Okay.
And after that, I worked as the co-chair of India chapter for 1 year, where again I got the opportunity to work with, instead of working only at my hub level, I got the opportunity to work across 6 different hubs within India chapter.
Okay.
And like I said, IAF is a participatory organization. It's a not-for-profit organization. So we all work voluntarily,
Okay.
and everyone has their own life, everyone has their own priorities, and
Mm-hmm.
still creating this space of learning and opportunity and development for people through people is an experience in itself. And it takes I remember I actually had loads of conversations with people, loads of and different strokes for different folks, because
Okay.
everyone has a different I would say place that they are in their journey, in their life's journey. and in their journey as a facilitator. So helping them identify, what works best for them and how can they contribute, giving them my own journey and my own example of how IF and being in part of this community has helped me give me an identity, give me a anchoring, give me a place to belong, and also an opportunity to experience leadership. Because after I left my corporate job where I was, leading a team, it was a little bit challenging for me to find that, identity and that place. So I think IF provided that, anchor and that opportunity for me to continue my leadership journey in a very different way, in a very facilitative way.
Mhm.
So combining facilitation and leadership, like
Mhm.
I said, having conversations, helping people find their own reason for being part of the IF, supporting them with, resources, supporting them with, guidance or opportunities where they can contribute, creating roles for them where they can in turn, make things happen, take leadership positions, etc. So I think that was a beautiful journey.
Mhm.
And in the last 1 year, I kind of again got that opportunity to take my leadership journey to the global level, where
Okay.
I was elected as the director of conferences and global events on the IAF's global board.
Mhm.
It's a 2 year term, and I'm in my second year now. And
Okay.
last year has been a beautiful, a beautiful experience, where I had the opportunity to work with 4 different regional conference teams across the world. I mean, starting with Oceania in Australia, then Germany, Berlin, you know about that one,
Mhm.
Ethiopia, Africa, and Asia in India.
Okay.
So different ways of working, different ways of cultural contexts, but also tying them together to a single entity like IF. So I felt I was that, that connecting thread, connecting different regions and different cultures and different contexts to a global entity called the IF. And I was the representative of IF. And I think it gave me a wonderful opportunity to support those teams. Again, practice facilitative leadership,
Mhm.
and I hope I was able to, um, give them the required support from the global level. But let me take a pause there in case you want to, ask me some more, some more question about, about my experience.
Interesting to know, Shalaka Gondi. Um, of course, you have mentioned a lot of things I wish I'm able to strategically inquire more about some of the things that you have said. Obviously, we want to talk about uh, the strategic role of facilitative leadership and servant leadership. And what I want us to do today, hopefully, is to get all the energy and the mindset and the thought and the insights that you have, so that we can reach a place where we can say, yes, this is something that the world needs. This is something that we need personally, professionally, and of course, in other areas of life. Now, your journey to leadership is so strategic. I was almost lost in what you were saying. I'm like, wow, you have really been to places. Not only have you been to places, you have worked with people across different continents. Tell us, Shalaka Gundi, what is it about facilitative leadership? One, from a personal point of view, and then secondly, from a professional point of view. What do we need to know strategically about the power of facilitative leadership?
Thank you for your question. I think it's a very insightful question, Gideon. The way I understand it and the way I have tried to live it, facilitative leadership, first and foremost, requires a leader to put the group or the team in the center
Okay.
and to focus on their development and their needs, taking care of them at a higher priority than the need to maybe showcase the leader's power or the leader's maybe higher level or authority or whatever you want to call it. So I
Mhm.
think it's putting the team and the people first, their interests first, helping them achieve a better outcome.
Mhm.
So that is the key of facilitative leadership.
Shalaka, tell us briefly, how much do you think that global leadership, how much do you think that global leadership is centered around facilitative leadership? Do you think that we are so far away from the concept of leadership, from the concept of facilitative leadership in terms of how we look at global leadership?
Well, I mean, if you're referring to leadership in politics or geopolitics, I think we are making good strides. It's not as if facilitative leadership or servant leadership is a new concept. I mean,
Mhm.
it's been around since the 1970s, and one can trace its origins back to Robert Greenleaf.
Okay.
And servant leadership, for example, flips the typical leadership script by putting people ahead of power.
Mhm.
And we have so many examples of servant leadership already. I mean, Mahatma Gandhi, for example, he says the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Mhm.
So that is so powerful. And we have Lao Tzu, who says a leader is best when people barely know that they exist.
Mhm.
When the work is done, people will say, "Oh, we did it all ourselves."
Mhm.
And another statement I think very powerfully describes facilitative or servant leadership is that it's not about being in charge. It's
Mhm.
about taking care of those in your charge.
Okay.
So it's been around, and I know we have examples, living examples of facilitative and servant leadership. For example, closer home, one of the ex CEOs of a major IT company, HCL, you must have known.
Mhm.
His strategy was to put employees first and customers second, because he believed that if you take care of the employees, then employees will take care of everything else.
Mhm.
So there are many examples, books. I have read excellent books that give me inspiration. For example, The Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma.
Mhm.
It's an excellent book to really it's an example of how you can lead without really having any authority.
Mhm.
So you don't really need a formal title or a position of power or knowledge to really lead. I mean, in this case, of course, it's more about influencing than leading. So I think that's another important aspect to keep into mind.
Mhm.
If I want to give a few, experiences of mine,
Mhm.
I would say that in the past year, one of the ways that I have tried to live the facilitative leadership
Mhm.
is to ask questions,
Okay.
to help people maybe get some direction to their thought process. For example, in one of the conferences, I realized that the team is kind of missing out on a few things. For example, getting people to choose the sessions that they want to join in a conference. We have concurrent sessions, and people had no way of knowing which sessions they are going to be joining
I'm
till
familiar
right
with that.
before the conference. So I asked, I mean, if I was a participant, and um, how will I know which sessions do I get to attend? Is there any way that the team is creating for me to choose those sessions? Okay, because so that I know what my experience looks like.
Okay.
On the other hand, if I were a facilitator, it'll really help me to know how many is have signed up for my session and what kind of people have signed up for my session, because knowing the participants is an important part of facilitating
Okay.
an experience. So
Mm-hmm.
from both the stakeholders, it's important to really, and it's the conference team that's going to kind of bridge that gap.
Okay.
So they thought about it, and they put in place a process which allowed people to select sessions, and which allowed facilitators to know who had signed up, how many people had signed up.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, another question about, do you think it'll help if, people, if facilitators were helped or supported by, one of the participants in their list of people who have signed up as a buddy,
Okay.
to kind of help them set up the room, or to help them get feedback for the session,
Mm-hmm.
etc., or to even introduce the facilitator for that matter, because
Mm-hmm.
the organizing team can't be everywhere.
Okay.
So I think that was another helpful, directorial question, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And the other way that helped me is to share experiences from the past,
Mm-hmm.
or share best practices that other conferences have had adopted, because then that gave them, the confidence that this worked earlier.
Okay.
So, it's kind of tried and tested. So maybe we can adopt it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So another approach that I took.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to share another, example where, um, personally, I believe that bringing people together from different contexts really enriches everyone's learning insights and broadens everyone's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So from that intention, we had two, I would say, knowledge sessions across conference teams.
Okay.
So which helped the upcoming conference team to really ask questions to the organizers of previous conference teams as to what challenges they faced, what
Mm-hmm.
worked well, what would they do better next time, etc. So we
Mm-hmm.
had two such knowledge sharing sessions, and of course they were recorded, and they are available as resources
Yeah.
for us. And I did receive feedback that all the organizing teams found it really helpful, not just the teams of upcoming conferences, but also teams, it helped reflect the teams of conferences that uh, their conferences were already kind of completed. So
Okay.
it helped them reflect, it gave them that sense of being valued, and also being helpful to other counterparts
Okay.
in other parts of the world.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's how I tried to bring people together.
Interesting, Shalaka. Uh, your job or your work or your professional experience is about bringing people together. Tell us all, share with me briefly, Shalaka, at what point in your personal and professional life and journey and experience did you realize that your calling was to leadership? What events or what experiences, channeled you to the fact that I am designed to lead?
Mm.
Do not forget that this year's topic is about personal leadership. And then we are integrating personal leadership with the concept of facilitative and servant-based leadership. Your work is both, but tell us briefly, at what point did you realize that I am designed to lead?
Wow. I'm not sure I can pinpoint a particular point of time, but I guess it is a realization that dawned on me over a period of time, and through a series of, I would say, experiences that I intentionally underwent. Um, so one of them was, I think, when I underwent my NLP practitioners and master practitioners course. So the part of work that we did, uh, uh, part of the work was to really help us identify the purpose, the calling that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that the answer that I received was that I wanted to be working with people, for people, helping them bring out their best. And one way to do it was, I mean, there are so many ways I could have done that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I could have been a motivational speaker. I could have been, I would say, a leader with a title. I could have been a mentor. But I think what also was important for me was to stay true to my own character, to my own personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a very private person. And I like to be with people, but I also like to be on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So I think to a balance of that is beautifully achieved when I am a facilitator,
Mm-hmm.
because then I can both be myself, as well as I can be in a place where I can actually support and catalyze people to be their best. So I think that was one realization. And then, a series of such experiences that I went through, where I invested in my own, self-awareness or self-discovery, like the learning theater was another intense human process lab kind of an experience that I went through, a residential experience. Nonviolent communication. I did my Vipassana, which is a 10-day long meditation where, you are supposed to just be with yourself and not speak with anybody. There is a lot of introspection that happened. I did my Theory U, which also involved a lot of self-introspection. So what I really loved about this journey is it's not only about um, facing the outside world. It's about um, it's about looking inside and then looking outside. It's that dance of, internal and external. It's that
Mm-hmm.
balance that is achieved. So I think it happened, over a period of time, and every time I got this message, that um, you need you can lead others by influencing them, by supporting them, by catalyzing them.
Mm-hmm.
But first and foremost, you have to lead yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to craft your own journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, it's a journey and it still continues. I
Shalaka,
don't know whether I responded.
tell me what you meant by craft yourself, because that was such a strategic word. What challenge do you think that people have when they try to lead other people first while ignoring themselves? What do you think about that?
Amazing. I think, it's like, if you're pointing a finger outside, there are four
Mm-hmm.
fingers pointing back towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think each one of us really projects themselves onto others. So unless we are clear and aware about who we are and what our purpose is, and are grounded within ourselves, it is, I think, very difficult to really help others. And leaders, if nothing else, um, have to also help others. I mean, even if in the traditional way of leading others, you are also leading people to be better versions of themselves.
Yeah.
And it's walking the talk. Unless I can be a better version of myself, how can I inspire other people to be better versions of themselves?
True. Interesting. Shalaka, tell us a little bit more. You have worked extensively with organizational leaders. What is the one or two challenges that you constantly face in getting organizational leaders to function?
That's a very interesting question. And I hope I'm not putting my foot in my mouth by responding to it. Um, One of the things that I have experienced is that people in leadership positions, do believe that um, it's the it's the it's their team that needs to improve or change, and they are already perfect, so to say. So again, it's about the world needs to change. I'm already perfect. So that's one challenge. And I think another challenge is to again, it's connected, but um, leaders know best, or people who are at the top, they know best. Whereas participatory ways of working have proved, research has proved that um, group wisdom really brings about the best solutions. So people who are on the ground, people who are dealing with the situations day in and day out, they are the people who are best equipped to solve problems that they are facing. So that's the gap.
Interesting.
That Yeah.
Interesting. We have just about 5 minutes or so. Definitely, I want to ask you upfront if you would create another time for us in the nearest future so we can talk more. All right. So let me ask you, Shalaka, what is the one challenge that you have with global leadership today? From your perspective as an organizational development practitioner, what is the one thing that upsets you most about global leadership today in view of the challenges that you see and that we face all over the world?
Wow, that would be again opening like a can of worms. But I think the top couple of things that come to my mind is really, to deal with diverse cultural contexts, language barriers, differences in access to technology, which unfortunately puts people at different levels.
Yeah.
Irrespective of their original capabilities. So I think that that gap is a huge challenge. And there is still this, what do you say? I don't know what to call it, but a gap, between what some people may like the global north and the global south, as one would say. So that gap is still very much there. Um, I'm also a little bit, kind of, um, I don't know what to call it, but worried about rising individualism. I mean, while we are saying that, bringing people together, and especially the pandemic gave us a lot of lessons about how people can help each other,
mm,
support each other,
mm,
be each other's sounding board and safety net, etc. Now that we are back to our life, it is about me and my life and my needs and my aspirations, and maybe not so much about how can we as a community, as a world, be more united. And yeah, and my passion for environment also makes me sad that humanity as a whole seems to think that they are the most powerful
mm,
species on the earth, whereas we are just some very minute, miniature of the whole big universe and of nature. So this false
interesting.
sense of importance is, I think, another challenge, I would say.
Interesting. Shalaka Gundi, please promise us that we're going to have you back here. Would you be able to create the time for us in time soon so we can have a second version of this conversation? And hopefully, it will be the conclusive discussion on the subject of facilitative and servant-based leadership in relationship with personal leadership. Can you promise us that?
Absolutely, it's been a pleasure, and it also gives me an opportunity to reflect, the questions that you ask.
Mm-hmm.
They help me reflect on my journey and, the
Mm-hmm.
insights that I have got from them. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much for this opportunity, and would love it if I can get another one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, Shalaka Gundi, the founding director of Peoplescape Consultancy and the director of Conferences and Global Events International Association of Facilitators. So, thank you, Shalaka, for finding the time to be with us. The Force of Leadership Thought 2024. Like you've all heard, Shalaka is going to be with us once again to share more thoughts and more insight with us on the concept of facilitative and servant-based leadership. Thank you so much, Shalaka. I hope that you have a wonderful time today. We will see you soon, like you have promised, and we're going to have a great time together. Thank you so much. Don't forget what Shalaka has told us. It begins with you. Everything begins with you. Shalaka looks forward to a better world where everybody can come together, we do things together, change together, improve together, grow together. That's the message we bring to you today. Thank you once again, Shalaka. You have to say bye-bye, and we will see you very soon, Shalaka. You have a last word to say before we close in about a minute or so?
Absolute gratitude, Gideon.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. To have a nice day, Shalaka. We will see soon. I will send you invitation. We can make the second part of this video and be a blessing to everyone in the area of leadership and organizational development. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gideon, for this opportunity.
All right. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.